Paula from Chic Emporium, and today I've set myself a mission with this little baby wardrobe which I think is really cute, and I'm going to be using 3 IOD products today and some Annabelle Duke paint. So I have started by giving it a sand to give it a key and used my 80 grit paper. I've then used, because I could see already that there were knots and stains on the wardrobe, so I've used this no nonsense stain sealer because I want to be able to finishing cream the final product. So to make life easier, I've just sprayed all of the knots, which is the white patches that you can see, so that's drying. And the next stage is I'm going to be making some moulds using some resin, having a go at that. And then we're going to use a Gypsy Queen IOD transfer. And finally, we're going to use the new crackle stamp to age it all up. So quite a lot to do, quite a lot to get on with, and the next stage is to sort out my resin moulds. So this needs to go on a heater to heat the mould up. So we'll see you when we're a little bit further down making the moulds. Right, so I'm just going to give you a really quick demo of making these resin moulds. It's equal parts, so I'm just putting some in there. This is called Amazing Resin, and I got this from Amazon. And put it into another pot there. That's about right. And then I'm going to mix them together. So I'm going to use this stick that comes with it. It's just a lollipop stick. Get every last bit out. Like that. Okay. Now it recommends that you stir them together for a couple of minutes. So I'll come back when we're at the next bit. Right, so I've been stirring. I've set my moulder on my little heater here to get it nice and warm, ready for the resin, and then I'm just going to very carefully pour with my shaky hands straight in, but I'm leaving it on the radiator so that it stays warm, because that will help activate it. Nearly there. Yeah, a couple drops more. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other one. Right there. Okay. That. I might just have enough for this one. And then it really is a question of just sitting and watching it turn white. It only takes a couple of minutes. And then get them out and paint them as soon as possible. Give them a good prime. If you're not going to use them straight away, then get some prime on it and then put them to one side. Right, so this was the resin as it came out, popped straight out, absolutely flipping amazing. I absolutely love it. We then painted it very quickly with the colour of our choice, which was Old Ivory, Annabelle Duke, and then I glued it onto my wardrobe using this stuff. Now you put the glue on and then you spray it and it activates it and it sticks straight on. Amazing. So as you can see, that's what we've done in both 3 places. And then we've given the whole thing a coat of the Old Ivory, which is a very nice off-white. So the next job to do is some ragging, and I have decanted into my pot some Vintage Rocks Rain Cloud, which is nice grey, and I'm going to add some water to it, and then I'm going to use a bag to rag it on and give some texture to our piece. So once we've gone a bit further on with that, we'll show you what that looks like. So I just thought I'd show you the last little bit, because we've done most of it, of how we do it. I've literally watered it down, only added a little smidgen of water at a time, and then I've screwed up a plastic bag and we're just dabbing it. It's giving us a really nice mottled, marbly effect, which just adds to the agedness of it all. This looks slightly lighter because it's dry, so this will lighten up when it's dried. So I'm going to just finish this bit and then we're on to putting the transfer on. So I'll see you then. Right, so we've masking taped loosely the transfer in place. I haven't had to cut away any of the plastic. We've just cut a little slit there so it sits nicely around the handle. And then I'm going to use the stick that it comes with just to gently rub away. Now, little trick, make sure that the paint surface is completely dry and dust free. If you've sanded, you need to use a damp cloth to wipe it down. This will not stick to sanded chalk. So we just use this kind of motion over and over until the transfers come through. I'll just show you. Start to see that little bit there needs a bit more, and there it's starting to transfer. So I'm just going to work over the whole piece in the same way. Right, so I've got the transfer on, and now I'm using my crackle stamp with a roller, and we found that the trick is not to roller right to the square edge, then you don't get a square pattern where you stamp, so sort of do it fairly randomly and in shapes. Now what I'm looking for here is a really subtle effect really. We've already achieved quite a mottled effect with our marbling that we did earlier. So I'm just breaking the main image up just a little bit more with the stamp. And I'm not even using all of it, I'm just sort of pushing it down in little bits and pieces. Hope you can appreciate that with the camera. So I've worked over the front in the same way, and then I'm going to finishing coat the whole thing before we do one more last little trick to really pop the whole thing. So we'll come back once we've finishing coated and protected it and show you how we're going to finish the piece off. Alright, see you in a bit. Right, all I'm doing now is using some wax with quite an old stipple brush just around the raised areas, these ornate areas that we created earlier. I'm not doing it everywhere, we have finishing coated everywhere, so that's protected what's underneath, but I'm just putting wax on here and it will all make sense when I get to the next stage. But just wanted to show you that this is part of the process for the next bit. So once I've put wax on all of the raised areas, I'll show you what I'm going to then do with it. Right, so I'm now using a product called Instant Decay, which is dark black powder from Vintage Rocks, and where the wax is, I'm now painting on top of it with a tiny brush, as you can see, and getting it in the grooves, and then with my buffing rag, because it's got wax, I can kind of clean it up a bit, I suppose, but leave it in the cracks. I'm trying to show some definition to the hardware, and it's just a question of playing. The areas around it, like you see, can come off, and it will only come off because it's got the wax on it. If you hadn't put the wax on, it wouldn't work. But so that's what I'm going to do all over the raised areas. I quite like that. pops the hardware, makes sense of the bits that are sticking out. So this is going to come up absolutely lovely. Look at that. So I'm going to carry on with my little brush, defining all my raised lovely moulds that we created, and then we shall be done. So I shall then show you the finished product at the end. Right, so the project is completely finished for today. Really pleased with it. I just love everything that we've used. I love the resin moulds that we made, really going to be doing those again. Obviously the transfer is just divine, and the crackle just adds a little something really special to it. So all of these products have just been amazing, as well as obviously 2 brands of paint and some instant decay. Have a go at all these things. Until the next time, thank you very much.
Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. An old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. An old sweet song keeps Georgia on